Hello and welcome to my special needs assisting 5N1786. My name is Jamie Hughes and this is my assignment. Welcome to my presentation. So in this presentation we will look at the roles and responsibilities of a special needs assistant, or an SNA. The qualities and the skills of an effective special needs assistant, the legislation, and a reflection on my personal practice. Section 1. The roles and responsibilities of a special need assistant. According to the Department of Education and Skills, DES, Circular 0030-2014, the 9 primary care needs requiring SNA support are assistance with feeding, administration of medicine, assistance with toileting and general hygiene, assistance with mobility and orientation, assisting teachers to provide supervision in the classroom, playground and school grounds, non-nursing care needs associated with specific medical conditions, care needs requiring frequent interventions including withdrawal of a pupil from a classroom when essential, assistance with moving and lifting of children, operations of hoists and equipment. Also, assistance with severe communication difficulties, including enabling curriculum, access for pupils with physical disabilities or sensory needs. Also, the 6 secondary care associated tasks requiring SNA support are preparation and tidying of workspaces, assistance with the development of a personal pupil plan, assistant teachers and or principals in maintaining a journal or care monitoring system for pupils, planning for activities and classes where there may be additional care requirements associated with particular activities, liaising with class teachers and other teachers as well, assistance with enabling a pupil to access therapy or psychoeducation programs, assistance to attend or participate in out-of-school activities, assisting teachers to provide supervision in the class, playground and school grounds. During my work placement, I supported a student with an intellectual disability during her weekly cooking class. She often struggled to follow the steps and would lose focus very quickly. So I had to stay alert and also patient. While she used kitchen utensils, I supervised closely for safety, but also stepping back to give her the space to work independently. We gave her an extra 10 minutes to complete each task, so she could take breaks if she felt overwhelmed. The first time I supported this student, I was nervous and worried about her getting hurt or stressed, but after doing it the second time, I felt more confident because I understood how to better support her needs. Assistance to attend or participate in out-of-school activities. I was also asked to supervise a student using a literacy website. I felt more comfortable with this task compared to the cooking class. I helped him stay focused when he needed but made sure he had the freedom to express his own ideas. I kept an eye on his time management while still allowing him to make the mistakes and learn from these mistakes. It was important to me that he had ownership of his work and could make his own choices. Section 2. The personal qualities of an effective special needs assistant. Adaptability. Responding to every child's needs. An effective SNA can quickly adjust to different situations, students, and learning styles. Each day can bring unique challenges. Being flexible helps meet the changing emotional, behavioural, and educational needs of children. Adaptability ensures that the support given is always relevant and responsive to the moment. This allows the SNA to work effectively with different teachers, therapists, and other support staff. This helps maintain a positive and productive environment even when routines are disrupted. In my quote, I have Hornby, 1995, page 37. He identifies the 7 stages in parental reaction and adaptation to their child's disability. Taking a sensory break. One of the students got upset during a loud group activity. I saw they were getting overwhelmed, so I took them outside for a short break with a toy that they would like. It calmed them down and they were able to go back to class and return to the lesson. Changing how they learn. I was helping a student who didn't like writing, so instead I used picture cards and things they could touch and move. That way they understood better and stayed interested. Handling a change in routine. One day the teacher was out and that upset one of the students. I used pictures and a calm voice to explain what was happening. I stayed close to help them feel safe and made the day easier for them. Communication skills. Building strong relationships. To build strong relationships, you should use clear communication. This helps the SNA understand the needs of each child. Being a good listener allows the SNA to respond with care and accuracy. Effective communication with teachers and parents ensures consistency in support. This helps explain tasks and instructions in a simple, child-friendly way. Also promotes a calm and supportive environment through respectful and positive language. To effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. Tony Robinson. Using clear instructions. I helped a student who found it hard to follow long instructions. I broke things down into short, clear steps. This made it easier for them to understand and join in with the class. Working with the teacher. When a student was having a tough day, I spoke to the teacher quietly and let them know what was going on. We worked together to change the plan and support the student better for the day ahead. Helping a student express themselves. One of the students didn't talk much, so I used picture cards and choices to help them let me know how they were feeling. It made them feel listened to and helped stop them getting upset. Section 3. Legislation. Equal Status Act 2000-2015. Summary and reflection. This act protects people, including students with disabilities or ZEN, from discrimination in education. It means all students have a right to be treated fairly and with dignity. This encourages schools to make reasonable accommodations, like changing in teaching or classroom layout to include everyone. As an SNA, this supports the work I do every day, helping each child feel included and supported. It also gives families the right to speak up if they feel a child is being treated unfairly. An act to promote equality and prohibit types of discrimination, harassment, and related behaviours in connection with the provision of services. Is my quote. EPSEN Act 2004. Summary and reflection. This act focuses on making sure children with special educational needs are supported in mainstream schools. It introduced important tools like assessments and individual education plans, IEPs, and understanding how vital early intervention and proper planning are for children with SEN. It also makes clear what schools and the NCSE are responsible for. This act helps guide how to support children's learning and work with teachers and families. A child with special educational needs shall be educated in an inclusive environment with children who do not have such needs unless the nature or degree of those needs of the child is such to do so would be inconsistent with the best interaction of the child as determined in accordance with any assessment carried out under the Act, or B, the effective provision or education for children with whom the child is to be educated. Came from the Irish Statute Book. The Disability Act 2005. This act gives a legal right to assessment for people with disabilities, including children in schools. It ensures that the public services like education and healthcare must be accessible and inclusive. It links closely with the EPSEN Act to make sure needs are identified and met. Understanding the responsibility and helping remove barriers so that all students can access education equally. It highlights the importance of joined up thinking between services and the support children and families. Quote, an act to enable provision to be made for the assessment of health and education needs occasioned to prevent to persons with disabilities by their disabilities, to enable ministers of the government to make provision consistent with the resources available to them. UNCRPD 2006. Summary and reflection. The United Nations Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the UNCRPD, says that all persons with all types of disabilities must enjoy all human rights and fundamental freedoms. The United Nations Convention promotes the rights of people with disabilities around the world. Everyone has the right to inclusive education, respect, and participation. Every child should have their voice heard and choices respected. This convention stands up for the children's rights and supporting them to reach their full potential. The EPSEN Act 2004 in practice during my placement. The school supported inclusion by placing students with additional needs in mainstream classes in line with the EPSEN Act. I saw how students had individual education plans that helped guide support, which matches the Act's focus on planning for each student's needs. SNAs like me worked closely with teachers to help students access learning, showing teamwork as encouraged by the Act. However, there were times when not enough resources, like sensory tools or learning aids, made it harder to fully support every student. Some staff felt they needed more training to understand certain disabilities better, which showed a gap in the ongoing support. While most staff were positive and caring, I noticed some attitudes that showed a lack of full understanding about inclusion, which could make students feel left out. The Equal Status Act 2000 to 2015 in practice during my placement. In my placement, the school aimed to treat all students equally, regardless of their background or ability, which reflects the Act's aim to prevent discrimination. The school made efforts to create an inclusive environment, like having ramps and quiet areas, which supports fair access. But sometimes funding was limited, which meant not every student could always get the equipment or extra support they needed. As an SNA, I supported students with additional needs by making sure they had the same access to school activities like outdoor events and or lunchtime maybe with their peers, helping to create equal opportunities for everyone. I noticed while many staff were very inclusive, there were occasional gaps in understanding, especially with hidden disabilities. For example, one student with sensory processing needs was often seen as distracted or not listening to his tasks, when really they were overwhelmed by classroom noise and needed a quiet space to be able to focus and be brought back. Reflecting on my learning journey in my SNA work placement. The SNA module gave me hands-on experience working with children, which helped me learn what the role is really like. I've grown personally and professionally. I am more patient, better at listening, and I've learned to pick up on things like non-verbal cues. I've learned how to manage behaviours, expressing need in a calm way, and support children in becoming more independent. There were moments where I knew I made a difference, a true connection with meaningful and engaging communication with certain students. I found it tough when a student presented with emotional dysregulation, but I learned to adapt and work as part of a team. Those challenges helped me grow and showed me this is the path I want to follow. My patience has helped me build strong relationships with students, especially those who need extra time or reassurance. It means I don't rush them and they trust me more. In my personal life, being patient has made me a better friend and a family member because I take time to listen and try to understand how others feel. My lack of confidence has sometimes stopped me from speaking up in the past, like when I had a good idea in a group but stayed quiet because I am unsure of myself. But this placement has given me the opportunity to voice my opinions. At work, it can make me sick. At work, it can make me second guess how I support students, even when I've done the right thing. I would sometimes worry that I was not doing enough, but from feedback and personal reflection, I feel I've become more confident in my ability to support students. I've started building my confidence by asking for feedback and trying small challenges, and I can already see a difference in how I carry myself both in placement and outside of it.